One of the mistakes that I see streamers doing constantly, regardless of how long they've been on the platform, is constantly talking about CCV. Okay, CCV, simply put, is viewer count or views per stream or whatever, however you want to look at it, but it's initially your viewer count. And I see a lot of streamers doing one thing wrong with that measure. It's an analytical measure. It basically determines, how many people you had or at any particular time in your stream or how many in total you had during your streams. And the sole purpose of this measure is to determine what hits on your live stream. Like you could be a variety streamer like myself, and you could have like a game that you play. You could be modding a game or doing something completely different, like a craft or maybe artwork, or you could just have a just chatting stream, what have you. CCV helps you determine how well your content hits. That's all it does. It just measures how many people were in your chat at that particular time of your stream. That's it. It just helps you measure how many people were interested. Some people, you might have a stream on one day where it's like you have all these people in it, and then you might have another stream today and it'll have this many people in it, and then you might have a third stream and it might have that many people in it, and so on and so on and so forth. That measure is a background measure. That is something that you're supposed to use in the background to help you cater your stream to find your target audience. You could be playing a game and be like, wow, people really like this game. So let's go ahead and keep on playing it. And more importantly, maybe find genres that are similar to this game. Something that piques my interest and keeps me entertained and invested, and at the same time piques their interest and keeps them coming back. That's all that measure is for. To this very day, I see streamers making the exact same mistake of using that measure to say, Twitch is up to something. My numbers are being skewed. I'm being this. I'm being that. No, you're not. The only thing you're doing is alienating viewers. And this is not coming from someone who's just saying it just to say it. There are times where I will go to streams just to lurk. And before I go any further, side note, lurkers are the backbone of Twitch, just like IRL streams are the backbone of Twitch. They've always been around since the days of Dustin TV. Lurkers are our best friends, and they are the best viewers you're ever going to have. And I like to lurk. When I am not streaming or when none of my favorite creators are online, sometimes I would go into a random stream and I would just sit there and lurk. I'm not going to interact with anybody in the chat. I'm not going to say hello to anybody because I don't want to. I don't want to interact. I just want the chat up. I just want the stream up. Sorry. I want the stream up and I want to see what they're doing. What they're doing piques my interest and I just want to watch quietly. I don't want to make any waves. I don't want anybody doing anything. I just want to watch your stream in peace. That actually happened to me once to a streamer. That was a VTuber. If that's all I can remember about the streamer, by the way. And I liked the vibe. I liked the energy. They were playing a game, I think. I don't really remember, but it seemed really nice. It seemed like a fun stream to hang out in. So I go in there, I hang out in the stream, and next thing I know, I see their chatbot pop up and says, hey chat, Twitch is no longer counting lurkers, so type a 1 in the chat to let me know that you're here so it'll count. Which is not even remotely true, which is something that Twitch has said more times than enough. Multiple times they say lurkers count on Twitch, but yet you have these random streamers coming up and saying, no, they don't, and I have proof. The second that I heard that, I was immediately turned off, and I never went back to that stream. That was so bad for me. That was a slap in the face. Okay? Lurkers don't want to interact with you. They just want to sit quietly. They don't want to be called out. They don't want their names mentioned. They just want to sit there and enjoy your stream. Sometimes it could be background noise for something else that they're working on. Sometimes it could just be, hey, I've had a shitty day. I've dealt with shitty people. I don't want to deal with shitty people anymore. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to chill with no one. I don't want to call no one. I just want to sit here and watch a stream in peace and quiet without anything, which is fine. That's good to do. But the second that you chime up and say, oh, hey, how are you doing, so-and-so? Hey, what's up? You're new to the stream? What's going on? Hey, chat, I need you to remember, lurkers don't count on Twitch, which, again, that's a fucking lie. Not so much a lie, but more like an inaccurate measure of anything. And it's like, hey, type 1 in the chat. Type a 1 in the chat. Let me know you're here so it counts and it's valid. No. No. The second that happened to me, I immediately left. I did not follow this streamer. I don't even remember the streamer's name. That's how just disgusted I was by that. And there are a lot of people who I'm pretty sure would also be disgusted about that, because when you start talking about CCV on the front lines and start using it as a form of measure, live measure between who's active and who isn't active in your chat, and who is there in your chat to support you and who just showed up, you're basically devaluing your entire audience. Instead of being like, hey, how's Tricks, Murphy? Yo, what's up, Steven? How you doing? Michelle, hey, it's good to see you here. And we got lurkers in chat. I'm not going to call you out because I want you guys to come on back and stuff. Just be chill and enjoy. Yeah. No, instead of doing all of that, it's more like, well, this number shows that I had this many people at one stream in the first hour, and then I had this many people in the next stream in the next hour, and then the next stream I didn't have as many people, I had less people, and then another stream I had more people than what I usually have, but more than was yesterday, and then it was up to here. So Twitch is manipulating my numbers and stuff. What you are saying is normal. Not every day you will have a streamer come in, not a streamer, but a viewer come into your chat and say, and just show up. Sometimes they won't show up. Sometimes they'll miss a day. Sometimes they won't be there on the weekends. Sometimes they'll be there on the weekdays. Sometimes they'll just chime in and say, "Hey, I'm a little busy. I'm not going to be able to enjoy the stream right now. I just stopped in to say hi to you and hope that you're doing fun and having great. I'll see you later in the next one. Okay, bye." That's the type of thing that happens. People are going to enter and exit. They're going to show up. They're going to go. It's normal. That is an ebb and flow. It's like the ocean. Tide comes in, so does the water. Tide goes out with the water. Basic ebb and flow. But yet you have streamers who will treat it like Twitch is manipulating my numbers. Twitch is doing this to my numbers. Twitch is hurting my stream. Twitch is hurting my efforts to get where I need to go. All of this shit started because some bullshit motherfucker on not Twitch, but Reddit. It's always Reddit. Said some janky ass shit, and people who are not familiar with anything that is related to Twitch or what is even going on just said, yeah, that's about right, because they're so certain that Twitch sucks that badly that they can just do something and just make it that bad. In addition to this, the more people that were talking about this, the people that were hating on this the most about the changes that Twitch made, review botting themselves. They themselves review botting. And because of all these sudden changes, which they didn't know what changes were being made and they didn't know how those changes were happening, they couldn't keep using the view bots. So they had to turn those off. They had to shut those down. And that's what they're pissed off about. It's like, I was using the view bot to do the thing, and it was awesome, and it was great, and people saw that my numbers were up, and they were up there, and I was pulling asses in the seats, and now you pull this shit, and I gotta turn off my view bot. Well, you know what? You know what? I'm going to start a campaign where people will know that you're manipulating the thing and that your system isn't working. This went on for several months, and it's still going on to this very day. Where people said that you should go back to the way the system originally was. The system where viewbots could just show up tens of thousands of times per second on any channel on any day ending in a Y, instead of this new system that's actively trying to curb viewbots and is being fine-tuned and tweaked to make sure it is as accurate as it possibly can be. Yes, we should go back to something that doesn't work because you don't like the thing that might be working, particularly because of the chance you're viewbotting as well. Look, there's really nothing wrong with having analytics. I have analytics just like any other streamer, but those analytics are for me. Because when I'm streaming, I don't see numbers, I see people. People that have a chance to come in and look at my streams. People that have a chance to check me out and see what I'm all about. The opportunity to follow. The opportunity to maybe toss me a sub or send bits to promote my efforts. Someone who be like, hey, I've never seen you before, but I like the cut of your jig, so I'm going to follow you. And then over time, it'll be like, hey, man, I really like what you're doing. Might drop you a sub. Hell, people have become mods just like that. At the end of the day, when it comes to analytics, that's something that you do on the back end of things. On the front end, it's a live stream. You're not looking at numbers, you're looking at people. Your focus should not be how high or how low that number gets. Your focus should not be the ebb and flow of people coming into your chat and leaving. Your focus should not be based on some bullshit rumor that somebody posted on Reddit with no viable proof whatsoever. And just run with it because you're so certain that Twitch is out to screw you every single minute of every single day on every day that ends in a Y. But make sure to give us subs, we can keep coming back and we'll see you tomorrow, right? Look it. Not every platform is good. Not every platform is legit. Not every platform is great. Every platform has its shares of ups and downs. But when you constantly think that this platform is out to get you every single chance you get, that just hurts you. And it just burns yourself out. And what definitely hurts the most is when you sit there and say, hey, numbers are being manipulated. That doesn't help anybody. Treat the people who are in your chat like people. Numbers are to be used to determine what hits and doesn't hit for your streams. It's not on them to do anything. They don't need to type a 1 in chat. They don't need to let you know that they're there, because Twitch has said constantly that lurkers are the backbone of Twitch and that lurkers are counted, something that everyone seems to be constantly ignoring. Those extensions that you have are third-party extensions, and we don't know the vetting process on how they can detect when someone is viewbotting. And it's a good thing we don't know, because the second that information gets out, the viewbotters are going to find a way to circumvent that system entirely and go right back to what they were doing, which is what we don't want. Stop worrying about what Twitch is doing to try and stop and curb a problem. Focus on your own shit. That's actually from a quote from Kamora Lee Simmons. You want to be successful, focus on your own shit. You want your streams to pop off, focus on making them pop off. Because as long as you continue on with this, you're really not focusing on your streams, and you're just focusing on a number. And that's not fair to anyone, including yourself. Laters.